Humans are not born as blank slates. We arrive in this world with a subtle, yet deeply embedded programming, a natural inclination toward empathy, cooperation, and care. This isn't just philosophical speculation, it's a conclusion supported by evolutionary biology, developmental psychology, and neuroscience. At the heart of our biological and social makeup lies the drive for connection. Infants instinctively seek the warmth of their caregiver. They cry not just from discomfort but to summon closeness. In these early interactions, we see the first signs of our innate wiring for compassion and mutual support. Even before language develops, babies can respond to the emotions of others, smiling when others smile, becoming distressed when others cry. These are not learned behaviors. They are hardwired into our being. If we look to our evolutionary past, the communities that survived were not necessarily the strongest in isolation but the most cooperative in collaboration. Tribes that supported one another, where the young were protected by all, the injured tended to, and food was shared, outlived those that didn't. Compassion and reciprocity were not just morally admirable, they were critical for survival. The hormone oxytocin, often called the love hormone, plays a key role in reinforcing this bond. When we engage in kind, affectionate, or trusting interactions, oxytocin floods the brain, creating a sense of safety and warmth. This neurochemical not only facilitates social bonding but also reduces stress and improves immune function. In this sense, doing good is not only good for others, it's profoundly good for us. Research has shown that acts of kindness activate the brain's reward centers. A 2006 study by the National Institutes of Health revealed that when participants made charitable donations, areas associated with pleasure, like the mesolimbic reward system, lit up in their brains. Simply put, giving and helping are biologically rewarding behaviors. We are literally wired to feel good when we do good. Yet, if this benevolence is our natural state, why does the world often seem divided, hostile, or indifferent? The answer lies in the brain's dual design. While we are capable of extraordinary compassion, we are also built to respond to threats with vigilance and self-preservation. When we perceive danger, real or imagined, the brain's amygdala is activated, signaling a cascade of stress responses. Cortisol surges. The nervous system shifts into sympathetic dominance, preparing the body for fight, flight, or freeze. In this state, altruism takes a backseat. The mind becomes hyper-focused on survival, often at the expense of others. Empathy shrinks. The world becomes me versus them. This survival mode isn't inherently bad. It served us well in ancient times when threats were physical and immediate, like escaping predators. But in the modern world, chronic stressors such as financial instability, social pressure, unresolved trauma, and constant stimulation from digital media keep many of us in a low-grade survival state. In such a state, the ego takes the wheel. We become reactive, defensive, and territorial. We see others as competition. Scarcity thinking replaces abundance. And in this condition, it becomes increasingly difficult to express the deeper, more unified aspects of our nature. When we live cut off from our intrinsic goodness, we suffer, not just morally, but physiologically and emotionally. Prolonged stress weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, and contributes to anxiety, depression, and even cardiovascular disease. Social isolation, a byproduct of disconnection, has been shown to increase the risk of early mortality at rates comparable to smoking or obesity. Emotionally, the cost is even greater. We may feel adrift, hollow, or as though something essential is missing from our lives. That something is often connection, not just with others, but with our own true nature. It's the intuitive part of us that feels joy in giving, peace in unity, and contentment in shared presence. The journey back to this goodness doesn't require becoming someone new. It involves peeling away the layers of fear, stress, and conditioning that have covered who we already are. It's about remembering that we are already enough. Remembering that love, compassion, and kindness are not traits we have to earn, but expressions of who we've always been. Mindfulness practices, breath work, and conscious self-reflection are powerful tools for restoring this inner alignment. As we slow down and observe our thoughts and emotions, We create space between stimulus and response. In that space, we can choose. Choose love over fear, unity over division, generosity over grasping. Consider this simple practice. Before reacting, pause and ask, is this response coming from fear or from love? This one question, if asked consistently, has the power to reshape our lives. We can also practice micro moments of connection, smiling at a stranger, offering a genuine compliment, sending a thoughtful message to a friend. These may seem small, but they ripple outward in ways we can't always measure. In time, they begin to rewrite the nervous system, moving us from defensiveness to openness, from isolation to interconnectedness. To live from the heart is to return to our original programming. It is to move through the world not as isolated entities, but as parts of a greater whole. It is to see ourselves in others and others in ourselves. From this perspective, judgment softens, compassion rises, and life becomes less about competition and more about cooperation. And the beauty of it is this: as we align with this way of being, our external reality begins to reflect it. Opportunities emerge. Relationships deepen. Peace replaces restlessness. Life, it turns out, meets us at the level of our alignment. Emotions are more than fleeting sensations. They are energetic signatures that communicate with the world around us. Every emotion we feel is a form of information, a reflection of how we are interpreting and responding to the moment. But more than that, our emotional states set the tone for how we perceive and co-create reality. Imagine waking up late, spilling coffee on your shirt, and getting stuck in traffic. You feel annoyed, rushed, and frazzled. In this emotional state, you're far more likely to miss opportunities, misread people's intentions, or react harshly to minor inconveniences. But reverse the script. Imagine starting your day with calm, gratitude, and confidence. Suddenly, the world seems more cooperative, more generous. People smile at you. Doors open. Solutions appear. Is it magic? It's perception and emotional coherence in action. When we allow external circumstances to dictate our emotions, we create a feedback loop. Something in our environment triggers a reaction: stress, anger, disappointment, and that emotional state reinforces our internal narrative. If we don't disrupt this cycle, it becomes self-perpetuating. For example, someone who constantly feels like life is against them will begin to filter every experience through that lens. Even neutral events will be interpreted as hostile or discouraging. The result? A reality that mirrors their belief. This is called emotional conditioning, and it's a well-documented psychological phenomenon. Over time, these conditioned responses become habitual, firing automatically based on environmental cues. Our emotions become predictable, and so does our life. But there is a way out, and it begins with emotional self-regulation. Emotional coherence happens when our thoughts, feelings, and actions are in alignment. More specifically, it occurs when the heart and brain communicate in a synchronized, harmonious way. When we achieve this state, our nervous system shifts into balance, our stress response diminishes, and our cognitive functioning improves. Neuroscience has shown that coherence between the heart's rhythm and the brain's activity leads to greater clarity, creativity, and resilience. In this state, we are not reacting from old patterns, we are responding from presence. Think of coherence like tuning a musical instrument. When the strings are tight and aligned, the sound is clear and resonant. When they're off-key, everything sounds distorted. Similarly, when we are emotionally coherent, life flows more smoothly. Challenges feel manageable. Relationships become more fluid. Decisions become easier to make. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your heart. Breathe slowly and deeply, imagining the breath flowing in and out of your chest. This alone begins to regulate your autonomic nervous system and brings your physiology into balance. When you feel triggered, pause and name what you're experiencing. This is frustration. This is sadness. Naming the emotion gives you a moment of awareness, separating you from the automatic reaction. Once the emotion is acknowledged, shift by invoking an elevated feeling, gratitude, appreciation, or compassion. Recall a memory that evokes this feeling, or imagine a future where you feel completely at peace. Each morning ask, What emotion do I want to lead with today? Set the tone before the world sets it for you. One of the most profound shifts in personal transformation is the movement from reaction to creation. In reactive mode, we wait for something external to change before we allow ourselves to feel better. This makes us passive participants in our lives. In creation mode, we choose our internal state deliberately, regardless of what's happening around us. We stop chasing peace and instead become it. And because reality tends to reflect our dominant emotional state, life begins to shift accordingly. This is not about bypassing real challenges or pretending to be happy. It's about becoming conscious of the role we play in shaping our emotional world, and by extension, our external one. When we sustain elevated emotional states, we engage the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, planning, and vision. Simultaneously, we downregulate the amygdala, reducing fear-based responses. This neurobiological shift allows us to think greater than our circumstances. We stop repeating the past and begin imagining new futures. Our behavior changes. Our energy changes. And so do the results we experience. Think of emotions as the fuel and intention as the steering wheel. When we combine clear intention with elevated emotion, we become powerful creators, no longer at the mercy of the world, but aligned with the deeper intelligence that shapes it. Change begins not in the external world, but within the intricate networks of our own minds. The brain, once thought to be a static organ, is now understood to possess remarkable adaptability, a quality known as neuroplasticity. This means that our thoughts, experiences, and intentions can physically reshape the neural pathways that dictate our behaviors and perceptions. Imagine an athlete visualizing a perfect performance or a musician mentally practicing a complex piece. This process, known as mental rehearsal, isn't mere imagination. It's a powerful tool for transformation. By vividly envisioning desired outcomes and repeatedly focusing on them, we activate specific neural circuits. Over time, these circuits strengthen, making the envisioned behaviors more natural and automatic. Our brains often operate as records of past experiences, replaying familiar patterns that shape our current reality. To break free from this cycle, we must consciously create new patterns. By consistently focusing on who we want to become and how we want to feel, we shift our brain's function from recording the past to mapping the future. This deliberate focus lays the groundwork for new neural connections, guiding us toward our desired reality. Change doesn't happen overnight. Just as muscles strengthen with regular exercise, neural pathways solidify through consistent practice. Each time we engage in mental rehearsal, we reinforce the new patterns, making them more dominant than the old ones. Over time, these new pathways become the default, leading to lasting transformation. Set aside time each day to visualize your desired future. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and immerse yourself in the experience. Feel the emotions associated with your goals: joy, gratitude, confidence. The more vividly you can imagine and feel these states, the more effectively you rewire your brain to align with them. Emotions like joy, gratitude, and love are more than fleeting feelings. They are powerful catalysts for change. When we cultivate these elevated emotions, we create a state of coherence between the heart and brain, optimizing our physiological and psychological functions. By intentionally generating elevated emotions, we signal to our body that the desired future is already unfolding. This process conditions our body to align with our intentions, making the envisioned outcomes more attainable. The body, in essence, becomes an instrument tuned to the frequency of our desired reality. Often, we wait for external circumstances to change before we allow ourselves to feel positive emotions. This reactive approach keeps us tethered to our current reality. By choosing to feel elevated emotions regardless of external conditions, we reclaim our power and become proactive creators of our experiences. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This simple practice shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering a mindset of positivity. Over time, this habit can rewire your brain to naturally seek out and appreciate the good in your life. Beyond the physical realm lies the quantum field, a space of infinite possibilities. In this field, our thoughts and emotions act as frequencies, attracting experiences that match their vibration. By aligning our internal state with the outcomes we desire, we tap into the creative potential of the quantum field. The heart generates a powerful electromagnetic field that extends beyond the body. When we achieve heart coherence, a harmonious state where the heart and brain are synchronized, we enhance our ability to influence the quantum field. This coherence amplifies our intentions, making manifestations more probable. Traditional approaches to change often involve manipulating the external world. However, by aligning with the quantum field through heart coherence, we shift from creating through matter to creating through energy. This shift allows for more effortless and profound transformations. Practice heart-focused breathing to achieve coherence. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus your attention on your heart. Breathe slowly and deeply, imagining the breath flowing in and out of your heart. As you breathe, cultivate feelings of love, gratitude, or compassion. This practice harmonizes your internal state, aligning you with the quantum field. In the journey of life, many find themselves oscillating between two states of being, the victim and the creator. The victim perceives life as a series of events happening to them, often feeling powerless and at the mercy of external circumstances. In contrast, the creator recognizes their inherent power to influence their reality, understanding that their thoughts, emotions, and actions play a pivotal role in shaping their experiences. This transformation from victimhood to empowerment is not merely a philosophical concept, but is deeply rooted in our neurological and emotional frameworks. When individuals take responsibility for their internal states, they initiate a profound shift in consciousness, moving from passive recipients of life's events to active participants in its creation. The victim mentality is characterized by a persistent belief that external factors are solely responsible for one's misfortunes. This mindset often stems from past traumas or learned behaviors, leading individuals to feel helpless and dependent on others for change. Such a perspective can result in chronic stress, anxiety, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Neurologically, this state is reinforced by the brain's tendency to seek patterns and predict outcomes based on past experiences. When negative experiences dominate one's history, the brain becomes wired to anticipate similar outcomes, perpetuating a cycle of victimhood. The first step towards becoming a creator is embracing responsibility for one's internal state. This doesn't imply blaming oneself for past hardships, but recognizing the power one holds in interpreting and responding to experiences. Self-awareness becomes the cornerstone of this transformation. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals can observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, identifying patterns that no longer serve them. This awareness allows for conscious choices, enabling one to respond rather than react to life's challenges. Our thoughts and emotions are potent forces that influence our perception and interaction with the world. When aligned with our aspirations, they act as magnets, attracting experiences that resonate with our internal state. For instance, consistently focusing on feelings of gratitude and abundance can shift one's perspective, making opportunities more visible and accessible. This alignment requires intentional practice, such as visualization, affirmations, and emotional regulation techniques, to maintain a coherent internal state that mirrors the desired external reality. Modern science suggests that our consciousness interacts with the quantum field, a realm of infinite possibilities. By directing our focused intention and elevated emotions towards specific outcomes, we can influence the probabilities within this field, bringing desired experiences into our reality. This process isn't about controlling every aspect of life, but about aligning oneself with the frequencies of the desired outcomes. Practices like meditation, heart-brain coherence, and emotional visualization serve as tools to tune into these frequencies, enhancing our ability to manifest our intentions. Transitioning from a victim to a creator is not an overnight process. It demands dedication, patience, and a commitment to personal growth. Challenges will arise, and setbacks may occur, but each obstacle serves as an opportunity for learning and refinement. Engaging in continuous self-reflection, seeking knowledge, and surrounding oneself with supportive communities can bolster this journey. Over time, these practices fortify the belief in one's creative power, making the creator mindset a natural and enduring state of being. As individuals consistently align their internal states with their aspirations, they begin to experience a life marked by purpose, abundance, and fulfillment. Decisions become more intentional, relationships more meaningful, and challenges more manageable. This transformation doesn't imply a life devoid of difficulties but signifies a shift in how one perceives and navigates them. With the creator mindset, every experience, whether joyful or challenging, becomes a stepping stone towards personal evolution and self-actualization. Daily visualization. Spend time each day visualizing your desired outcomes with clarity and emotion. Engage all your senses to make the experience as vivid as possible. Gratitude journaling. Maintain a journal to note things you're grateful for daily. This practice shifts focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing positive neural pathways. Mindfulness meditation. Regular meditation enhances self-awareness, allowing for better regulation of thoughts and emotions. Affirmations. Use positive affirmations to reinforce beliefs aligned with your desired reality. Repeat them daily to embed them into your subconscious. Emotional regulation techniques. Learn and practice techniques like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or emotional freedom techniques to manage stress and maintain emotional balance. Each morning is more than a routine beginning. It's a doorway to new possibilities. In that quiet moment between sleep and action, we hold the power to decide who we are becoming. By pausing with intention, we shape the energetic tone of our entire day. Begin by visualizing the version of yourself you're stepping into, not as a far-off dream, but as someone who already exists. See yourself speaking, walking, and acting as that future self. Then feel the emotions tied to that identity: confidence, peace, joy, gratitude. When you feel it now, you're no longer waiting for change. You are embodying it. Science supports the power of morning intention. Neurologically, the brain is most malleable upon waking. Emotions and visualizations practiced in this state make a deeper impression, helping wire the brain toward new behaviors. Emotionally, this sets a baseline of positivity and resilience before external pressures have a chance to influence your state. This ritual doesn't require hours, just 5 to 10 minutes of intentional alignment. Done consistently, it becomes a signal to your nervous system that you're ready to attract the experiences you've been calling in. You are not passively reacting to life anymore. You're becoming the one who creates it. Real change is built on small, repeated steps. These daily practices help ground your transformation in action. Start your day with stillness. Focus on breathing deeply into your heart space. Let your mind and body sink into calm coherence. Just 5 to 10 minutes can regulate your nervous system and prime you for a responsive, not reactive, day. See your future clearly. Picture yourself succeeding, thriving, and feeling the emotions that come with it. This mental rehearsal activates the same neural networks as real experiences, preparing you to live them. Write down or speak aloud 3 things you're grateful for, both in your current life and the future you're stepping into. Gratitude rewires the brain for optimism and abundance. As you go through your day, ask, does this align with who I'm becoming? Let your words, choices, and even posture reflect your future self. At day's end, reflect briefly. What did you do well? Where did you grow? What can shift tomorrow? Reflection deepens self-awareness and helps close the day with intentionality.